we can discuss about innovation in bedding industry
Parleremo di innovazione e bedding nel
with a
settore
particular focus about your
con un
company. That
focus
is
particolare sulla
Variowell. The stage
vostra
is yours,
azienda.
and you have
A lei la parola.
15 minutes. And thanks a lot.
Grazie
Really.
mille.
Grazie.
Grazie
Yeah.
mille.
So my name is Tobias Kirchhoff. I'm
chiamo
founder and,
Tobias
and CEO of Variowell
Sono
Development.
l'amministratore delegato
Actually,
di
we are a
Variowell.
company
Siamo
deeply rooted into the mindset of Silicon Valley.
nella
I will talk a lot
cosiddetta
about Silicon Valley and
mentalità
sleep,
Silicon
which
Valley.
is a rather interesting topic because a lot of companies in Silicon Valley are actually taking care of the topic sleep, which most companies in Europe actually do not see it. One of the things you can learn from Silicon Valley is intercultural teams. If you work on a certain topic and you have people from one village or one city, they come up with one idea. But if you have actually people from different cultural backgrounds, you come up with much better ideas. Another thing which is very important in Silicon Valley is to not go from the product to the market. So that means not inventing a product and then look where you can sell it, but actually to go from the market to the product. Know your market very, very well before you actually introduce something. So what is interesting, if you talk, for example, ask about 4,500 consumers worldwide about sleep, and if they have a problem about sleeping too hot, it's interesting to see that 40% actually say they have a problem year-round, 25% have a problem in summer, that's additional, only 15% have not a problem. So you can see also with these data that sleeping too hot is not a problem of the air, of the heat outside, it's actually a problem of your own body heat. Yeah, if you then see what are you doing actually in the night when you sleep too hot, people think it's the air, so they increase the air conditioning or the air speed, and that is of course not good for energy consumption. A lot of people actually take their feet out of the comforter, out of the bed, which actually works because it has to do with your blood circulation. Many open the window depending on where you are. But you see actually that there is a topic with the consumer about sleeping too hot. But we also ask, of course, because there are already technology solutions out there which are cool to the touch. Yeah, it's a material you touch it and it's cool for 5 or 10 minutes, which actually works well. But if you ask a consumer, do you expect a cooling solution in a mattress or a bed to work the full night or just in the beginning, 87% will tell you, no, the full night, of course. And that is where we developed actually a very interesting material, which is our Kiku. That is, if you see in the mattress, you have the body heat which collects in the foam because foam is insulating. But at the same time, you have temperature gradients across the mattress because you have room temperature at the side, the heat below the body, and that is a temperature gradient. Now go back to the physics, go back to science. It will tell you thermal energy, heat, thermal energy moves from hot to cold. It only needs a connection. And foam is the opposite of a connection because foam is insulating. So that is what our bands are doing. They actually connect hot and cold areas in the mattress so the heat can flow to the side and dissipate. And that is why Kiku bands actually work the full night. And that is something we have already tested, and I will show you some really, really interesting slides about how you can simulate and how you can test this effect. So these are flexible bands made of superheated graphite, which is a very special 2D, 3D molecular structure of graphite laminated with polypropylene and aluminium. And these are flexible bands you put into the mattress, not the consumer, it's the mattress manufacturer because it goes below the surface. I see that the presentation actually does not do movies, so you will not see on the right side what it should show, and that is if you simulate. Simulation means we simulate how heat flows in foam. Yeah, and that is very interesting how it. And well, you have to go focus here on the left picture because the white one is not working. It's a moving picture, but you see that if you simulate Kiku bands in a mattress with a heat source on top or a heat source without Kiko, you see how foam is insulating, how there are hot spots, how the heat collects in foam, and with Kiko on the other side, it actually takes to the side. If you would see the moving picture, you can see that over 6 hours, this effect is stable. Yeah? Another effect here, also the big screen seemed not to work, but the small one on the lower left part, you can see that most of the heat of what happens actually in the product is on the surface, or 1 or 2 centimeters of the surface. That is where you have to work with cooling material. Yeah? The superheated graphite, for example, is used in smartphones to remove the processor heat. Yeah? That is something which can do. Here you can see Casper, one of our first customers, a very large US mattress brand, the first cool mattress brand, shipping out mattresses by bicycles in New York. Yeah, and you see also what those components are doing. If you have a picture of a really good foam in marketing, it's just a foam, because it's difficult to show that it's a special foam. But here it's an extra component. That means in marketing, you can show an extra component and people understand what it does. It moves the heat to the side. This is Koala in Australia, also very, very cool mattress startups which also use it, the polar bands. This is Z-Brands Luna in Mexico City, about 200 stores. They also work, as you see, with the bands. Actually, that were all moving videos, so they work really with videos and moving. Yeah, you can see that at hall, here in this hall at E6 at that time, and I would like, just half of the presentation, I would move now to sleep tech. And we'll talk a bit this way. So you should know that I am co-chairing a working group in the USA about sleep tech. That is in the Consumer Technology Association. And there we have people from Apple, Google, Samsung, Whoop, Aura, all these sleep-related companies. But we have also the world president of the Sleep Society Association, people from Harvard, a sleep medicine researcher from Harvard, Charité, and Stanford working in this group about standards. We are currently working on the sleep and AI standard. I'm also chairing the Sleep Tech Committee of the US National Sleep Foundation. There's so much currently going on in sleep, it's highly interesting. This is a picture of what is sleep tech. Who is active in sleep tech? And it's only an extract. It's not everybody, But you can see sleep is so much more than a mattress or a pillow. It's about thermoregulation. It's about air. It's about noise, It goes into the more clinical side, which is now a big topic that you can go clinical with the new FDA guidelines. It's about medicine, about behavioral change app. This is an ongoing picture. Every day it would be a new picture with new companies in that field. There's a lot going on which is beyond mattress and pillows. You see the Oura Ring, you see the Apple Watch. These devices measure sleep in a different way and sleep-related parameters. If you think about a mattress, what were the most important mattress points, sales point over the last 30 years? And you would say it started with durability. Durable was very important. Then it came about comfort. Springs were substituted with foams. Mattresses became too soft, so you had back problems, and ergonomics were. It's all about design. But what's the next big thing? And perhaps the next big thing is sleep. And then you would say, well, it was always about sleep and selling a mattress. No, it was about lying horizontally. It was not about sleep as a topic. But that is coming, and the nice thing is about that if you actually do IoT systems and sleep tech, you see what happens in the night. And you see it with your own product, and there's so important information you can get. But it's not an easy topic. Why is it not easy? Well, you would say everybody uses digital devices and everybody sleeps, so it's a normal fit to put them together. But actually your sleeping room is a very intimate and personal room in your life. Perhaps you don't want too much technology in your sleeping room. You want it in your workplace, you want it in your kitchen, but not necessarily in your sleeping room. You see on the right side 8 Sleep, which is a really nice cover, hot and cold, and but it needs like 3 hours to set up. and the sleep researcher testing it said it works nice, but now my sleeping room looks like an intensive care unit. Yeah, and that is not what you want. So what we say is about moving sleep to sleep tech. So what we offer is a solution which we already have ongoing projects where you have actually passive cooling elements like the Kiku stripes together with warming. This is a project we do together with Bosch. Yeah? Actually, it's very expensive to do this type of projects, but in the end, you get a lot out of that. Yeah? What can you do with warming and cooling in the night? Well, you could, for example, take data from the Apple Watch during the night. A drop in heart rate indicates a drop in skin temperature, so at that time it would become warmer. There's so much you can do in the night. If your mattress is supposed to improve your sleep, why doesn't it do anything during the night? And that is what these technologies can do. Yeah, you can measure and analyze air quality and make it combination with sleep on that one. And the nice thing is you get data in the background. When you talk with people from Apple, they know so much how you use an iPhone, what you're doing, what you don't do, what you like, when you use it. What do we know about the use of a mattress or a pillow? We don't know anything. We sell it and hopefully it doesn't come back because it would be a return. But suddenly you can see data. Suddenly you can see what happens, what people do. You see also sleep room data. For example, humidity, air quality, and temperature. Just the topic temperature in the sleep room. Everybody talks about sleeping too cool or sleeping warm, etc. But what is the actual temperature, average temperature in a sleep room in, for example, North Italy compared to Sicily? It's highly interesting to talk about that. And if you have these data, that's how we sell that to mattress brands. If the first company having this type of data in a market will have the best products 2 years later because they know so much about the customer and the consumer. Yeah, thank you for your attention.
Thank you to you. I consider that I have to change my bedding system in a really short time. Thank you, really. Thank you so much.